Hello, students. Today we are going to study Mikhail Bakhtin Discourse in the novel. What are the key points of Mikhail Bakhtin and what he mentioned? So, the main ideas is focus upon the unification of discourses from dissimilar social sources, reconceptualization of literary language. All words exist in dialogue with other words, and emphasis is shifted from individual literary works toward the intertextual world in which individual literary works are set. So these are some key points and main ideas of Mikhail Bakhtin. And the key term he used in his novel is heteroglossia, language, literary language, stratification, and coexistence. So, according to Encyclopedia, an invented prose narrative of considerable length and a certain complexity that deals with imaginatively with human experience, usually through a connected sequence of events involving a group of persons in a specific setting. Within its broad framework, the genre of the novel has encompassed an extensive range and types and styles, picaresque, epistolary, gothic, romantic, realistic, historical, to name only some of the more important works. So Bakhtin mentioned the diversity of social speech types, sometimes even a diversity of language and the diversity of individual voices are artistically organized. He mentioned in the novel the internal stratification of any national language into social dialects, the indispensable prerequisite of the novel as a genre. The novel orchestrates all of its theme, totality of objects and ideas depicted and expressed in it by means of social diversity of speech types, differing individual voices that flourish under such conditions is heteroglossia. So heteroglossia in another speech in another language serving to express authorial intention best in a refracted way. Describe the coexistence of distinct varieties within a single language. Translated from Russian, it means the different speechness. It implies both the coexistence and conflict between different types of speech, like speech of characters, narrators, and all of authors. All of them different types of speech. Language is the concrete environment in which the consciousness of the verbal artist lives. Language is unitary as an abstract grammatical system of normative forms isolated from the process of historical becoming, which is characteristic to all languages. Language is an abstractly unitary national language, social life, and historical becoming the how language created and it result in a multitude of concrete words and a multitude of bounded verbal, ideological, and social belief system, and it fulfill with the elements of language, filled with the various semantic and axiological content, each with its own different sound. Literally, language. It is unitary only due to shared abstract linguistic markers. Conceptualizing these abstract makers is itself heteroglot and stratified in the form that carries its meaning. Stratification achieves through genre. Certain feature of the genre take on the flavor of given genre. Genre need together specific viewpoints, specific approaches, form of thinking, nuances, and accents. Professional stratification is the language of the doctor, lawyer, and politician, etc. These language differ from each other not only in vocabulary but also in specific form of manifesting intention, form of making, conceptualization, and evaluation completeness. May or may not coincide with the stratification into genre. Means its stratification genre may be different from each another. So the stratification, generic and professional stratification versus social differentiation and stratification. So these may two coincide, but in essence, social differentiation is completely autonomous and peculiar itself. So the social stratification is primarily determined by the differences between the form used to convey meanings, the expressive planes of various belief systems. Stratification expresses itself in the typical differences in ways used to conceptualize and accentuate elements of languages. So every individual is capable of stratifying language in proportion to their social significance, attracting each word and form into their orbit by means of their own characteristic intention and accents. Thus, word can be alienated from certain tendencies, parties and artistic work and person, etc. Every social significant verbal performance has the ability to infect within own its tension certain aspects of language. This can happen due to specific semantic nuances and axiological overtones. Each generation at each social level, every age group has its own language, vocabulary, and its own peculiar accentual system that can depend on the social level, academic institution, and other factors. So, languages are specified no matter how narrow the social circle they are spoken within us. Language is heteroglot. At any given moment, and languages of various epochs and period of socio-ideological life cohabit with one another. In historical existence of language is heteroglot, meaning the coexistence of socio-ideological contradiction between the present and the past, contradiction between the socio-ideological group in the present, and between the tendencies of schools and circles, etc. In these ways, language differ from each other. These contradictions intersect each another in a variety of ways, forming new socially typifying language. So coexistence based on the stratification, it be juxtapose, supplement one another, and contradict one another. So they are quietly interrelated ideologically. Coexistence of a language. Such language encounter one another and coexist in the consciousness of real people. Firstly, in the creative consciousness of people who write novels. Language struggles and involved in the world of heteroglossia. Bakhtin offers an explanation to why we juxtapose and stratification. All language are of heteroglossia, whatever the principle underlying them and making each unique. The specific point of view on world, form of conceptualizing, and the world in the words, specific world views, each characterized by its own object, meaning, and values. All may be drawn in by the novelist for the orchestration of his theme and for the refracted indirect expression of his intentions or values. Stratifying Stratifying forces in the languages, there are no neutral words and form. Language has been completely taken over by intentions and accents. For any individual consciousness living in it, language is not an abstract system of normative forms, but rather a concrete heteroglot conception of the world. All words have the taste of a profession, genre, tendency, a party, particular work, person, generation, age group, the day, and hour. Each word tasted in context and is populated by the intention. So Wordsworth word gain worth only when it is populated by the intention of accent, when it is appropriated to certain meaning and expressive intention. But prior to this, the word did not exist as neutral, but rather in other people's mouth, context, and serving other intentions. The prose writer, as a novelist, do not strip away the intentions of another from heteroglot language. He does not violate socio-ideological, cultural horizon that open up behind heteroglot languages. Rather, he welcomes them into his work. Make use of words that are already populated with the social intention of others and compels them to serve to his own new intention and to serve a second master. So these are some key points that Bakhtin has mentioned in his novel, Discourse in the novel, and I have already discussed what are the key points. I hope you like the presentation and give me the feedback in my video whether you like it or not. And for further, you can follow me on my this channel. So we will keep you updated with the further context and various writer what they have mentioned in their different writing styles. Thank you for watching.